Day 1, Jill. 2 eggs, a slice of toast, and a pile of white mush. Hunger bites our insides like death to the system. Our forks are dirty. I could press on them and feel their skin swallow mine. If I put one in my mouth, I would turn to steel, and inside my throat, a dead man would swing from a rope tied around his middle finger. Fuck off, he'd say. And I would let him swing until the bugs decayed and hatch their insect thoughts in my mesmeric state. The table had the markings of a dozen ancient wanderers. Their symbols were carved with precision. I choke on the small talk. I cough up fibers into the food. My lungs unravel and I breathe through a straw. Waitresses are servants. Payment to the poor. Bring us slop for we give you paper. I didn't want to be a slut, Jill told me. You're not a slut now. Eat your mush. They say I am. They say that my slutty skin holds slutty things. That's what skin does. They aren't any different. You dress me. Yeah. You're the first. The one and only. You are the only. Please, Jill, eat your mush. Only if you tell me that your love means something. It means something. The way I held my breath while I spoke made her smile like I was truth itself. I didn't want to lie, but love is a word that means too much. It was enough to coax the food into her bite, so I meant it as much as meaning would go. Thank you. What for? Calling you Jill. Thank you. The waitress walked by in the tail end of some fist fight she must have gotten in earlier. I could see the bruises spinning under her apron. When she turned to face me, I heard all of what she didn't say. He deserved it when I stuck the sharp thing in his stomach. I had a double shift and he hugs midnight as if I'm supposed to love him into happiness. I don't love anymore, never going to again. I received every word that wasn't. Why don't you love anymore? I'm just a waitress. Jill opened up, and her skin holds servant things. 2 more hours and I go home to an apartment that kills me. Her neck swelled up when she spoke of death. Jill put her fingers on the waitress' arm to bring her down from the ledge. Her mask fell off and I saw that she looked like someone I would forget easily. I'll bring you the check. Jill stripped off a piece of her sleeve and started wiping away her skin. I need to be new, she said. I don't want to live like a slut, she said. When she cleared away the layers in between her past and her hope, she stitched a piece of cloth back and then ate a packet of sugar. While she ground down the granules and I was working to leave my body whole, a man with a beard like an upside-down mountain stepped in through the automatic glass door. His coat hung on his shoulders like a web. I held a fork firmly in my hand, praying that my wrist wouldn't give. A storm was brewing in the heart of this place. The waitress was behind a counter somewhere, bending menus into switchblades. The walls were just about ready to give. The plates on the table were cracking apart, and the man with the beard was turning to stone. Day 2. Aaron. His head is shaved to skin, but running your hands across it, you can feel the stubble. He was short, but pulled lean from exercise. His eyes were so smooth. He spoke clearly and concisely as such, but you could tell that he was someone you would remember even if you grew listless. I called him Aaron. You need to leave here, he told me. I know. Now. I know. He leaned forward and pulled his eyes with him. He grabbed my hand without unscrewing it and turned it palm side up and ran his finger into the deepest line. This is where you are. He moved his finger to a less significant line. I don't like to see you in the places we would never notice. I want to see you in a place where you can exist, really exist. How do I leave? You follow. You. Yes. I can't. Not now. I know. And with that he left. His whole self drained with the weight of me and my heaviness. If I cried ever, it was probably then, but I can't remember if it happened or not. I can't remember anything but him closing the door to that apartment and leaving me cradled by the wrinkled walls that would never do anything but sleep. Day 3. Nameless. I put the barrel into my mouth and licked at the metal. My finger fell off when I tried to pull the trigger, so I switched hands and tugged at it again. It fired, but the bullet went right through me and left a hole in the wall. Maybe I was a ghost, fallen into the place where the sky splits the earth to rot in the sludge of college insanity. I threw the gun at the wall and it fired again. The bullet lodged itself in a speaker on my desk. Red is the new black is the new nothing. Swallow the Robitussin, swallow the pills and the booze. This is the way of the world, of the way of the monsters. I drove to a Walmart and brought a shoebox with me filled with the ash of a girl that exploded in my bed one night. Walmart is bigger than the ocean, so that's where I spread what remained of her. Day 4, asylum. A doc with dreadlocks came into my room with a prosthetic face and a prosthetic neck, but the dreads were legit. He speaks, but I do not hear him. He waves his hands, but I do not see his hands. His coat plays black and white movies. There's a guy on his coat that tells a girl he can lasso the moon. The moon stays put. The moon is actually drifting away. You are not who you say you are. The doc mouthed a medicated statement in response. I believe his plastic lips spelled out something like, "In a room from which nobody leaves, we have hidden a key, and the key is the trigger you need." You say nothing and everything at once, pressed together like a journal. You took a step towards my bed and the sheets tightened around my limbs. A volcano in my back burst into my stomach. I swallowed the caustic residue and spoke. "I want the key if it is the trigger I need." He spoke again and his lips said, "To get to the door, you must end what is not started. Follow a blind man into a basement and speak when you are spoken of. You may or may not die 2 times. His coat was running credits too quickly for me to read. My eyes were falling out. I held them in with what was left of me. I could be here for as long as it takes to die twice. I put my feet on the floor. My feet became disinfected upon contact. The dock was gone like a smoldered paper trail. The antimatter was swirling like a typewriter ribbon. I clicked my teeth like keys and typed out a letter to Aaron. It fell out of my mouth as heavy as an instrument I cannot play. "Dear Aaron, I have found a way to escape from this lackluster freedom. There is a room with the key to the black hole I can unleash. The doctors who do not fall through the floor will either turn to stone or be lost in a memory. You are in here because I am. I am in here because the dead day came too soon. Jill is somewhere on a train for new something. I left her burning. I'm in love with too many things. In my dreams I have found a way to be whole, a way for my bones to solidify like water to ice to steel. There is a song in my dreams of something I should remember. When I unravel the mystery, I will free us. Me and you and Metal-Mouth's misplaced death and the rest of the broken brain matter monsters. There is a way in. There is a way out. Until then, purgatory is a playground. I will run.